Alrighty, raining outside. You see I can hear a lawnmower, which is kind of funny. And working on the dashboard to the Jeep. This is the new dashboard that is factory cut out for the 2-post radio, which I have one. My garage is a hot mess, but this guy, the audio box, upside down, was in my grandmother's shed. It has all the knobs and the faceplate too, so that'll fit nicely right there. And I've got some 4-inch Marine speakers that I'm melting down. But the big thing going on, the speakers and the hole right here for the speedometer cluster, being an aftermarket dash, it didn't have the studs on it. And I was like, well, I could weld onto it, but I didn't want to, it's kind of thin metal, I didn't want to burn through. So I found this weld mount stuff that uses an acrylic adhesive, and so far so good. Did this one yesterday and on there pretty well. And this one right here, I took the flap disc and brought it down to bare metal to be safe. And being the back side of the dash, I'm just gonna hit with some spray paint. And I found some Spa Blue that is pretty darn close. I've got a lot of updates to the tub I can show you, but with it being cold and wet outside, here I am. Here we go, fresh blue spray paint on. This is gonna be behind the dash, so I'm not the least bit worried about it. I figured a blue color, if I ever looked up there or somebody was sticking their head under, would be a little better. And I'm mounting the speakers at a 45-degree angle, but the studs go better behind the grill, the little speaker grills. Oop. Well, of course I don't want to go on right now. I'll fiddle with it with 2 hands. That guy's fully on. And the plan is to get the dash fully wired up. I'm going to bring the other dash in here and pull the gauges off. Amazon seems to have lost my new indicator light, so I'll get a refund for those and get new ones on. But I want to have the dash completely plug and play ready to go. Backside the glove box on, everything ready. And I've ordered weld mount studs. I'm gonna put them on with JB Weld, honestly. But for all these little holes right here, they're only 1/4-inch studs. And I think it's gonna work out nice. Oh, a big thing I did on the tub as well. These holes right here are for the 3/8" knob bolts that make the windshield easy to pull down. And there was nothing there. So I drilled a 1/2-inch hole, actually welded in some stud mounts to those, and looks pretty factory. Alrighty, it's kind of a hot mess because it's in the middle of the project, but making some definite progress. Tail lights are on and connected. New license plate bracket is on. Fuel filler hole is cut. I haven't put in the fuel filler hoses yet. I actually need to fabricate an L bracket to go there because that blue thing right there is the one that came off the old tub. It doesn't fit the new one well. Either I didn't get the holes lined up right, which is possible, but the whole attachment itself or the whole swing arm fits. So I'm gonna go get some 1/4-inch steel and see if I can't fabricate something. Got this guy riveted on. It was just held on kind of jankily before. Popping over here, I haven't messed with the trans tunnel yet. That'll be one of the next projects. Pretty big thing here, pedal box is in. I sprayed the pedals satin black, left that raw metal like it was. The park and brake is in and connected and works, which is huge. Right along here is the wiring to the taillights. I had to drill through the tub back there. I'm actually not gonna attach it up in the tub until I get the soft top channel drill. I don't want to drill through it. And the heater box is in. I see some drama with the heater box. The holes in the tub did not line up with the heater box, and I had to enlarge them, and it was kind of a thing. And the heater core itself is copper, which is amazing, but it wasn't brazed together very well. And one of the inlet tubes came loose. And funny enough, I filmed a place called Spike Radiator in air conditioning here in Denver. And they did an amazing job brazing it back together. The guy's probably 75, 80 years old, look like, maybe not that old. He was an awesome guy. 2 days, $45. He brazed both of them back on for me perfectly and cleaned the core out. So I have the original copper core cleaned out, rebrazed, ready to go. You can see I'm gonna put the computer, or the MSD box where the old computer used to go. I've got it coming to the firewall and sealed it up with some roof flashing. Got the old boxes in. I'm gonna hit it with some Armor All before I put in the other piece. Coming over here is kind of the embarrassment, but it's gonna work and it is what it is. One of the things I did is I upgraded the blower motor. This is out of a Chevy K5 Blazer, probably C10, all kinds of things like that. So I drilled the hole to the right size for it, but all the other holes either didn't exist or weren't there. So the hole ended up getting a little shoddy as I ground it wider. And same thing, the heater hose, or the heater core inlet and outlet did not line up with the holes that were stamped in the body. So I ended up cutting up like a square into both these holes and then patching it with the sound deadening / flashing, which is going to be hidden pretty well by the fender that goes here. The battery will sit here, and it's under the hood. I'm not too worried about it, honestly. I slapped the fan back on. That's been off for a while, as I wanted to get to the thermostat housing to take it off and put it back on. This, the fuel line's obviously going to move. I've got the wiring harness for the headlight and the fenders right there. Aluminum core radiator is going to go back in. Steering wheel and column is right there. I don't know if I've shown these on camera yet, but this guy right here was about $5, and it was worth it to me to replace that. That's the hot air inlet for the housing, and hopefully it still works. It's this guy right here, and it goes under. And apparently, if the air coming in is too cold, it flaps the valve open and sucks air from around the manifold in the engine. Not the cleanest air probably, but it's warmer, so you won't ice over your carb. And honestly, it's probably fine for fuel injection too. It might not be as big a deal, but it does get cold in Denver occasionally. So, or if I take it in the mountains, who knows? This guy right here is actually a clean. I don't know if you can see inside. It's a clean air. It's closed off in there right now, and as you get it running and add vacuum, it flaps open. I think it's to keep exhaust, or it's to keep the fuel fumes from the carburetor from getting out. It doesn't matter at all with the fuel injection, but it's there. I didn't want to just leave it disconnected, so I'll make sure it works. This guy was a 3-port CTO valve, and I realized it was for a distributor advance, which I won't have anymore. So I came down here and ordered a 2-port that's going to be an on or an off, and then I just teed in for the couple things I needed, which would be nice. I'm excited to get this fuel injection going. I've got a new low pressure power steering line. It was the original and it was pretty bad. The high pressure is new and the receipt says it's only a couple years old, so I decided to leave it. Getting into stuff. I've got clutch linkage back on, hooked to the clutch pedal. Brake reservoir is bolted to the pedal box through the firewall. This is a little, I had to cut this wider, it's a little janky, but I'll put some flashing around it. This is the back side of the park and brake rails. I probably should have spray painted those, and I might take them off and do it. Something I decided to keep that I don't know if I need or not is the this guy right here is the evap canister, and DMC DeLorean Restoration Parts makes that, which is just a GM part. DeLorean sourced a lot of their stuff from GM because John DeLorean used to be VP at General Motors. So that's a DeLorean canister, and it's a new charcoal canister, the evap canister. So it runs up from the gas tanks right there. On the gas tanks, there's for some reason double outlet off the top of the tank. Go back there and look at it. Double inlet off the top of the tank. It's kind of back there. It goes up to a check valve. That's the back side of it right there. So it's a rollover valve. So you roll this thing over and it's sitting on its top, which obviously is bound to happen. I mean, look at it. It doesn't let the vent line leak gas everywhere and start a fire. So the tank vents through the check valve, up to the front, up to this green line, into the evap canister. So as it's sitting outside and getting hot and cold, things like that, the gas evaporates a little bit, and the gas vapors come up to the charcoal canister and sit there. And then as the engine warms up, the coolant temp valve right here clicks over, pulls vacuum that comes over here to the trigger valve. Trigger valve turns on, and this goes up to the manifold vac, pulling onto the bottom of the throttle body and sucks that gas vapor out and burns it through the engine. So don't know if I actually need it. They don't do visual inspections in Colorado anymore. They just need to make sure you have a, I don't even think they check for a cat. They just do the sniff test, put you on the rolling road and see if you pass. So I'm curious if I will. I'm keeping the evap canister. I've got my EGR is wired in. It wires through, or pipes through two places. The manifold, or the coolant temp sensor right there clicks over, and it pulls up through this guy too. There's a temperature gauge in there, so there's two different things that click over to turn the EGR on. I guess they don't want you sucking unburned exhaust gas back through the engine if you don't have hot coolant or warm enough air. At least that's what I read online, and I think I believe it. But these are both hooked up and should function properly. Yeah, it feels good getting the heater core back in, because I didn't want to fire it up until I got the dash in properly. And the dash is annoying enough to get in and out that you want to have the heater box in, you want to have the upper inlet cold air in, or the fresh air intake pipe in, and you want to have all the wiring under the dash done. So that's why I'm earlier in the video, which is I think 2 or 3 weeks old now, I was working on the back side of the dash, which I've done some work to. I'll show you that next. Oh, quite the hot mess. And this is going to be a 10-footer, and you know what? It's cool enough. I think it's going to be okay. As promised, here's the back side of the dash. And actually something I've got to clean up and mount the new MSD box to where the computer's to go. This is the air inlet pipe, or fresh air inlet pipe for the heater core. This sucks in that grill in the middle of the cowl and brings fresh air in. But this is the new and old dash, and I'm moving some things over. I've actually got all new cables here, got all new indicator lights. As you can see there, I'm getting the wires put in. I got the new back of the glove box. It fits the original perfectly. It doesn't fit the aftermarket one as well, so I'm gonna do a little trimming, but I think it's gonna, big thing is gotta clear all the heater things. This is my Bluetooth hidden marine stereo. It's meant to go on a John boat, but I think I'm actually gonna mount it to this plastic box. And I don't know how well it'll work. I don't even know if this is a tape deck. I don't even know if that guy works, but the plan is to have, I've got a 2-position switch, and I'm going to either have power going to the Bluetooth or to the tape decks. I want to get some cool tapes, and both are hooked to both speakers. So I flip a switch and I have Bluetooth. I flip it the other way, and I'll have old tape deck. Let's see if I can actually flip this up and show it to you. Dropping stuff on the ground as it happens. So here's the front of the dash. I do have the knobs, but I haven't put them on, but it's really cool that this is a old AudioVox tape deck. Speedo is back in, still reading 91907.4. I think I said that earlier in the video. It's been a couple weeks. I got those gauges in, and I got the indicator lights. And I got my little files too. These holes are stamped, and the switches don't want to go in, so I've got my little files, and I'm going to make that happen. Dropping more stuff on the ground. And fingers crossed, I've got this dash in soon. As soon as the dash is in, I'm going to drop in the new distributor, plugs and wires, and charge the battery. And we'll have a video seeing if she fires or not.